Hey guys, YouTube 100 here. Alright, now here I am with another direct-to-video made-for-TV Christmas movie review. And now here I am with a review for Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas. So, yeah, as you may know, I did review Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas a couple of years ago. And funnily enough, I actually did review it 2 years ago today. So yeah, that's like kind of interesting. I didn't even realize that I reviewed the film like just exactly 2 years ago on this day. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but if you've seen my review for the first film, I did say that yeah, the first Once Upon a Christmas, like I just really did love watching as a kid. Like I watched it like every year for Christmas time, and even today, I mean, I still do watch Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas every year during Christmas time. So yeah, I mean, I really do like the first film a lot. Yeah, and as far as this one goes, I had never really actually seen this film before until I actually did watch it to make this review. Yeah, so yeah, but going into it, I really just didn't have very high expectations for it because yeah, I have heard like everything that's been said about this film, how it's not very good, and especially after seeing like Nostalgia Critic or Doug Walker's Disney Summer review on this film, and like how he like really just like was really bashing this film, just like saying like it's like sending like really like yeah, you can really kind of really make the debate how this film is like really sending bad messages, and the CG animation for this film is like really cheap, and the stories really are not good, and yeah, all that stuff just like really being like very negative on this film. Well, yeah. So yeah, so going into it, I really like was really didn't have like very high expectations for this film, but I figured like this film would really fit with this theme I'm doing this year for my Christmas reviews, so I decided to give the film a watch. And yeah, I would say that it really does come off like that. I mean, yeah, this film really just is not very good. Yeah, I mean, this film was released in 2004, so about like 5 years after Once Upon a Christmas came out. I guess like since like Once Upon a Christmas overall was like a success. I guess it did like do well in video sales. You know, so I guess like maybe just this like Disney like pretty much like felt that was just like got like forced into like making a sequel, but they really, I guess they may have just like not really wanted to, so they just decided to just like put together anything that they could. And yeah, I guess that could probably be why like this film really just is not very written very well, and the stories really are not very creative, and just yeah, and just how cheaply animated the CG is for this film. Yeah, I mean, I guess like this film just like kind of like shows like how it's kind of like an example of like how hand drawn animation was being phased out, and like this was like when 3D animation, like the like CGI stuff was like becoming a thing now, and I guess that's probably why instead of like hand drawn animated like the first film was, that this film is like CG animated instead. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, the CG animation is just like really cheap looking. I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, even like for direct to video standards, like this CG animation is like pretty cheap looking. So yeah, and plus, yeah, the stories in this film really are not very good either. I mean, in the first one, in like Once Upon a Christmas, like the three stories that were told about Christmas, they were actually like really creative and pretty good stories for kids. Yeah, but this one, they just like have several stories in there. I think it's like 5 stories in this, and the stories really are just like not very good at all. It's just like there was no creativity put into this at all, and they just like were just like trying just did anything that they could think of, and just like just not even try to be creative with the film, because in this film, like I said, there are 5 stories in this, and they're all like pretty lame. Like there's this stuff with like uh Minnie and Daisy just like ice skating like for a show or something, and then yeah, they're like trying to sabotage each other, and it like becomes like a big becomes like a fight, and then they eventually, and by the end they make up with it. Yeah. Second one, it's just like a Huey, Dewey, and Louie just going to the North Pole and really just like making sure that their names are on the nice list instead of naughty. Naughty, yeah. Third story, it's just a Max bring his girlfriend home to meet his Goofy, his father, and really just nothing comes of it. And I mean, it's really just like a song told throughout, and it just seems like to come and go. I mean, it just seems to go by very fast. Yeah. Fourth story, it's like Donald just is really annoyed with like Christmas and just really isn't in the Christmas spirit because he's just annoyed with hearing "We wish you a Merry Christmas" all the time, and pretty much he gets forced into going to the mall with Daisy, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and then Donald just ends up like causing chaos as he destroys the show that they went to the mall for, and yeah, it's just like Donald just doesn't have the Christmas spirit, and they just like make everybody just makes him feel guilty in the end, and then he comes around. Yeah. And the fifth and last story is just how just after like Mickey like ends up like scolding Pluto for like just like wrecking the Christmas decorations on accident. Then Pluto then runs away from home and goes to the North Pole, and then yeah, the reindeer like take him in for and has their own pet. But then yeah, Pluto becomes homesick, and then as Mickey's trying to look for him, then Santa ends up bringing Pluto back home, and so yeah. And that's really it. I mean, there's like no creativity put into this at all. Oh, and yeah, that's how it really comes off as. I mean, he really just these stories just seem really really short, and the film itself really is like a short film as well. I mean, it's only like a little over an hour long. I mean, the Once Upon a Christmas, while it just did have 3 stories, it did like fill it in just fine. I mean, that film was also like an hour as well, but yeah, but it really did like keep you entertained for the hour. I mean, with the 3 stories that it has, I mean, of course it's like they're longer than this, but yeah, they're like actually interesting, and it really makes you feel like you're watching it for a while. This, it's just like it's boring, and it just like passes by. It just like comes and goes. I mean, they seem to just last like 6 or 7 minutes each. So yeah, they're just like short and unmemorable. So yeah, so I mean, I just don't know like why they just made it turn out like this, because with the first Once Upon a Christmas, I mean, they just really did put a lot of effort into it. Like, the animation was really good for direct-to-DVD and video standards. I mean, yeah, they took time to write good stories. I mean, yeah, the characters were all likable. So, yeah, I mean, you actually, like, even though, like, it was, like, despite the fact that it is, like, intended for, like, little kids, I mean, there were, like, people that could still, like, get enjoyment out of this. I mean, even adults could, like, really enjoy this. I mean, Nostalgia already did. I mean, in his review for Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, he was really praising this film. So yeah, I mean, so this did at least like have something for like, while it is intended for little kids, adults I think could still get some enjoyment out of it. I mean, especially like if you're parents, if you're watching this with kids, I think that you would get enjoyment out of it. But this one, this just doesn't have that same feel that Once Upon a Christmas did at all. Just yeah, I don't think even little kids would really enjoy this. I think like this would really only be like enjoyed by little kids, like probably like 3-year-olds or something. Yeah, so yeah, this just really seems like something that like barely anybody would really enjoy. I really think that just like it would be enjoyed by just like 3-year-olds. Like, if you're over the age of 3, you'd probably get bored with this film and not even like it, especially like if you did watch Once Upon a Christmas. So yeah, I mean, so I really just don't know what else I can really say about it. I mean, I guess like the voices overall are just fine. I mean, yeah, still like the famous voice actors that were like voicing Mickey and the others at the time do still return for this. Like, you do like still have like in this film, Wayne Allwine voicing Mickey Mouse, Tony Anselmo as Donald Duck, Bill Farmer as Goofy, yeah, Tress MacNeille as Daisy, Russie Taylor as Minnie, as well as their Huey, Dewey, and Louie. So yeah, I mean, and they do still sound exactly like how they did in Once Upon a Christmas. So yeah, I mean, it is still the same voices. So I mean, I guess that's not so bad. But yeah, their designs in here, especially like with it now being CG, they just look like really bad in this. Like I guess there are some characters that do look okay, but others like Huey, Dewey, and Louie, they just look they're just ugly. So yeah, and in this film you also do have Jason Marsden like reprising the role of Max, because yeah, Jason Marsden of course like did voice Max in the 2 Goofy movies. Of course he didn't voice Max in Once Upon a Christmas, because yeah, in that movie Max was like at a younger age, but here like Max is like now back to his like teenage years. I think like Max is like around the age of 18 in this film, and Jason Marsden does like return to voice Max in this. So yeah. So yeah, so the designs of the characters, I mean, yeah, like I said, some look okay, but others just look ugly, especially the Ducks in particular. Like, Scrooge McDuck, he doesn't look particularly good, and Huey, Dewey, and Louie, they just look bad. So, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, they do look, yeah, so these characters really do look a lot better with being hand-drawn animated. Hated, so yeah, that's really, like, more like how they should be, I think. So, yeah. Yeah, and plus also like the stuff with they go to the North Pole, like with when in the story when Huey and Louie actually do go to the North Pole. Yeah, I mean it's just like pretty lame. I mean the elves just come across as idiots. I mean they're just being fooled by the fact that Huey, Dewey, and Louie are wearing like elf type of hats. Yeah, and the Santa in this film, he's just like totally generic and forgettable. I mean, I agree with what like Nostalgia Critic said in his Disney summer review for this film. I mean, this is like one of the most forgettable and generic Santas you will ever see in like TV or film. I mean, this is Santa just forgettable. I mean, if you watch this film, I mean, you will probably just instantly forget about this Santa after watching it. So yeah. So yeah, I just really don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm not really trying to like totally repeat everything that Nostalgia Critic really did say in his review for this film, but it's just kind of hard really not to like mention some of the things that he did say in his review for the film. So yeah, and like he said, just I mean, it may seem like kind of silly to just like bash this film so much when it is really just a kids film, but so was the first one, and just like a lot of effort went into it. So really, I think just just because of like how good the first film turned out, it is like a valid thing to really he like really just really like be very negative on this film, just like when they could have like really done something really good with it with how the first one turned out. So yeah, I mean, so I just really don't know what else to say about this. So I mean, I guess it's really not like it's definitely like not the worst thing Disney has ever done. I mean, they have done worse things than this. Like especially when you like look at like all the direct to video sequels that they've done. I mean, yeah, this definitely isn't as bad as several of the anime Disney sequels, and even like some like theatrical films have been pretty bad. So yeah, this really is not like the worst like Disney any project ever, but just it just is such a letdown because how good the first film was I mean, yeah, yeah, and especially like with somebody like me who like I was like in the age range for the first film when it was released. He said, yeah, I did love it, and then just like now seeing this, just this just feels like one of the biggest letdowns of a sequel ever. So yeah, I'm sure that's probably just a cop out, but for like kids films and these direct to video Disney films, this just seems like the totally just the big one of the biggest letdowns you could possibly get. So yeah, so I just really don't know what else I can really say about this film. I mean, as far as how I would rate this film, I just really don't know. Oh, I mean, gosh, I mean, I would probably go like around the 2-star range, but even that I think is like probably even like overrating it. Like it doesn't even seem like 2 stars is really appropriate. It should probably be a lot lower. So, yeah, I really don't know what I would rate this. I wouldn't give it any more than 2 stars, but it might be even lower than that. I mean, you'll see my final rating down in the description for it. But yeah, just missed opportunity and just a totally generic, bland film with like seems like no effort really went into it. So yeah. So I mean, if you are like curious enough, I mean, I guess is probably like you could probably watch it, but if you really do ask me, like if it is like really worth watching if you haven't seen it before, or I would say no, don't watch this. I would just say like just watch the first film. Just do what I do if you're a fan of the first film and just watch the first film every year and just like pretend this one doesn't really exist because yeah, it just really it's not good. All right, so I just really don't know what else to say. I mean, if I continue on, I probably will just sound like a broken record. So I think I'll just like end it right here. So yeah, so I guess this is a review of Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Sorry if it's not really like if I'm not haven't really like talked too much about it, but there's really not a whole lot to really talk about because what I've said is pretty much just sums this film up. So yeah, all right. So I guess this does it for this review. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.